We're here at the West Barnstable Fire Station, preserving history and telling stories. With me today, Chief Maruka and his daughter Carly. There's a beautiful mural behind us. Chief, how did this idea come for getting a mural of a fire engine, the old fire engine? Start there.
Yeah, so this is a mural. It's the truck depicted is our 1956 fire engine. It was the first new fire engine that West Barnstable purchased in its early days of the fire district. And it has always been stationed at the old firehouse on Route 6A, next to the big stone arched building there that is now a computer IT company. But it's been an art gallery and a car dealership for many years before that on that stretch of the road. And that kind of ties into the story.
Right. Yeah. So the story is that the quote is from Kurt Vonnegut, and some of our residents may not know that he was a West Barnstable resident, which is up for debate whether it was Barnstable or West Barnstable.
At the time, it was West Barnstable. In the 50s and 60s when he lived here. Today, we would call it Barnstable. He's closer to Barnstable Village than West Barnstable, but he ran. He had a Saab dealership in that stone building. And he ran the car dealership in the late 50s, early 60s. And in 1959, he wrote a book called Sirens of Titan. And the quote up on the wall behind us is from Sirens of Titan. And of course, the connection being he was next door to West Barnstable's fire station, and the fire truck that he would have been looking at every day from his office window was the 1956 fire engine that is now depicted up on the wall. And we still have the truck. We bring it out for events, and it is still in the old station. Right. So there is a kind of a connection between the quote and Kurt Vonnegut and the village and our fire truck. And this quote is on the walls of many fire stations throughout the country, and we just thought it was time that it was on ours.
Right.
It was more appropriate here than anywhere.
Right. And you enlisted the help of your very talented daughter, Carly,
Yes.
to actually paint this mural, which is beautiful. Give us a sense of how you started this project.
So I started the project by using charcoal to outline the drawing of the truck, which I had a slightly blurry picture of to start off. And then I covered that up with some clear acrylic medium, so that when I started painting over the lines, the charcoal wouldn't smudge everywhere. And that's basically the description of how you would paint
Right,
it.
but you were up on some type of apparatus to get this done.
Yes, I was up on a lift, which was quite fun, because if anyone's ever been on a lift, they're kind of hard to drive, but it's fun to go up and down. Yeah, and one of the challenges is that the mural is right next to one of the heaters. So I was basically pretending I was in Florida the whole time.
How long did it take you to actually finish this project?
So it took a portion of Saturday, and then basically all of Sunday.
All of a sudden, and you were here late at night as well.
Yeah, I finished it around 1:30 in the morning.
1:30 in the morning. And are you traditionally a mural artist, or is your art background in other mediums?
I mostly do sculptures and furniture, but I do have a background in drawing because it's one of the requirements to be a studio art major.
Okay, and you're a studio art major at Bard, and one of your professors actually gave you some advice?
Yeah, my ceramics professor happened to also be doing a mural class, so I asked her what kind of advice she would give for painting a mural outside.
Right.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And Chief, you talked earlier before we started about preserving the stories of the village of West Barnstable as well as Barnstable as a whole. Give us a sense of how this might help people start a conversation about some of those histories and stories that we have here.
I do. I think, in West Barnstable in particular, we've done a great job kind of preserving the history of the look and feel of the village, the buildings, the open spaces. But I don't think we've done as great a job at preserving the stories of the people who came before us here. And while I think it's not unknown that Kurt Vonnegut was part of the community at one time. It's not a story that gets told a lot. I think you look on our fire trucks and you see Finntown and Shark City. There are great stories behind why this village has those nicknames, and you know, we're talking about how we can start to not only preserve those, but tell that story, tell the story of our railroad, tell the story of the people who lived here, whether it was 50 years ago or 300 years ago. There's a lot of people that have connections to West Barnstable that were critical to the formation of this nation. And we're not telling those stories as well as I think we could. And I love history, I love literature, and I just, one of my goals or dreams of life is to tell some of these stories or preserve them a little better for the next generation.
Right. What's been the reaction to the fire crew to the mural?
I think people like the mural. It's been good. It's just it's different. You know, the station's tough. It's cluttered, and we're jammed in here a little bit. It would be nice if we had, you know, nice clean walls here, and it would be stand out a little better. But it's nice. It's kind of my long-term plan to build a museum. You know, on the upper ends of the walls. I want to get all of our old gear and equipment up high and you know, clean the place out and make it look good. Again, historical items. I'd like to do that at some point. So we're getting there.
You're getting there.
We're getting there.
Excellent.
It's good.
Thank
It's
you.
been great.